What's going on, Sagittarius? This is your Sagittarius Full Moon reading. The theme, I was meditating on it. I was going for a walk, and the words just went and just right in my head. Resplendent Surrender. I've seen a few different teachers talking about this, and also just with the work that we're doing with the Course in Creativity. I feel like surrender is such a big theme here. Surrender is such a powerful and important theme to that, where we, there's so much that we can control, and so much that we can do with things, but what the goal is here, I think, is about giving so much up to spirit and giving that up to the universe to decide what to do with. And not to decide what to do with in the absence of our hearts in it. But this is a key part of manifesting, right? Like, you're expanding the realm of possibility through which your good can find you, right? On my vision board in the middle, I'll read it to you. It says, thank you, universe, for all the good things in my life that I don't yet know about. So thank you, universe, for all the things in my life good things in my life that I don't yet know about. And it's tapping into that idea. So resplendent surrender. So let's dive in, okay? So I would like to invite the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Alrighty, so let's do this. The Journey of Love, Dream Oracle. Spirit, what message do you have for Sagittarius? You might be feeling the energy more, like just this, I feel like very lighthearted, this beautiful expansion of energy within you that's just fantastic. So I feel like you might be feeling that a little more. You might need more rest too, so don't deny yourself that, that's for sure. Spirit, what messages do you have for Sagittarius? Woman of Light. Both of them? Okay. The spaces between the words. I almost get this as like a manifestation whisper. Whoa. Okay, so big goosebumps on that. Like the whispers that you make in the moments where you realize what you want. Like the spaces between the words. The spaces between the words. And then we have Sensual Awakening. Of course we would, Sagittarius. Sensual Awakening. Very passionate, deep, connected energy. I want to read Sensual Awakening, but I will read the spaces between the words. Because I feel like Sensual Awakening kind of speaks for itself a little bit. And I feel like it's less about the sensual awakening as a manifesting power or tool or way of knowing. And I think far more about the spaces between the words. So let's do this here. When we look for guidance, let me do this here. Okay. When we look for guidance, we often look for words that clarify, reassure, and help us find our authentic path through the chaos. Yet there's also guidance in the spaces between the words, between each letter, between all the happenings in our lives, where there is nothing to be said, where there are no lines to be colored in, where there is just openness. Those are the times when we need to freestyle. We need to do or not do based on what is happening for us right in the moment. Often there is far less to do than we think. Often we don't need to think. There's a space forming around you now. Sometimes when we sense this subconsciously, we feel exhilarated and excited, anxious and nervous, and not even sure why. There is a sense perhaps that we wouldn't mind having a map of this unknown terrain, or perhaps we're happy to wing it and make it up as we go. Either way, there is space to just be. It is a receiver for the divine presence. If you have a lot of space of unknowing around you, now or within you, then just know that there is a lot of divine presence to be received. It can't be explained, really. It happens between the words, and yet without it, there wouldn't be any words or any guidance at all. This oracle speaks to you. Enter the space and let go, for your time to receive is upon you. Be blessed. Yeah, I feel like this is really a call to be in the unknown more, and to make peace with the unknown. My back itches, sorry. I feel like this is a call to be at peace with the unknown, and that's kind of where your power is right now. 444 on the time, so angels are with you. But I feel like this is really the unknown and making peace with where you are, right? And we can often malign the senses and our experience of that in favor of something more, you know, spiritually enchanting and things like that. But I feel like I've said it before, and so many times I'll say it again. But we are spiritual beings, yes, but we're having a human experience. We are having a human experience. And we do ourselves a disservice when we deprivilege or disconnect from these parts of ourselves. And that's where this sensuality, this sensual awakening is so important. Like, so much of my experience as someone who's neurodivergent comes through my senses, right? Like my senses are very heightened, and this is also like extrasensory too. So it's not just about the, you know, the you know, touch or sight, sound, taste, olfactory. I think that's smell. Let me move this down more. But yeah, like it's not just through these like extrasensory things. It's also making peace with your body and where you are in it, and the richness of information that comes to you about manifesting and manifestations, because you do get intuitive hits through your body as well. So it's like, where do they land in your body? And also thinking about how where they land in your body and in your energy is a component. It's a component of it's kind of a component of energy healing and understanding how energy moves in our auric fields, because where that lands in terms of manifestations can give us information that's very valuable to the surrendering process, but also to where we trust and do not trust. Because if we feel like a pang somewhere that's unrelated to an intuitive hit, then we can have an idea of where we might be storing energy or holding on to energy in our system, so that we can then let that go too, so that it continues to flow freely through us. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Saggies? My Saggies. My darling Saggies. I love you guys. I am one of you in many parts, in many ways. In my chart. Oh, the star. Wow. A lot of hope. This is like holding out hope. There's something that you're manifesting that it's not just a wish. Like, I'm hearing a dream is just a wish your heart makes. Might be true, but I feel like there's a certainty to it, like a certitude. There's a security. That's the one I'm looking for. Security with this. There's a safety, like there's a safe bet. I'm hearing there's some kind of safe bet. And you I feel like you bet on yourself a lot, because like you're the star. Like that's like not small energy by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel like there's a bet that you're making. You're banking on something, maybe to do with yourself. But there's a way that it's like you're looking outwards. With hope. This could be very collective oriented energy, right? Like you're seeing something to do with the collective energy outside of you. And there's something that you're manifesting to help or to add to it. That could be the case as well. Let me do that. There we go. Four of Wands. So we are embracing stability. We are embracing security. We are embracing community. And like passionate senses thereof. And the celebratory joy of that. Six of Wands. So much fire energy. Oh my gosh. Sagittarius. What? I'll do this here so that you can see the star. I think that the Six of Wands is showing up in this releasing position, because it's kind of what you're letting go of is what other people think. I think it's like letting go of what other people think. And that's a big part of like this resplendent surrender, in order to sink into the richness of the star, where you are, this hope. Yeah, I'm seeing like, so I'm seeing someone sitting in a like a contemplative state, and just this beautiful swirl upwards of this rainbow spectrum of energy from the earth just being given, like it's like this lending energy, like, oh, it's beautiful. This is, my synesthesia is wild to me still. I love it. I love it so much, but it's still pretty wild to me now that I have names for it. But I feel like this is like, it's a bit of letting go of what people think or might think, and maybe even a little bit of what you think of what they think, right? It's sort of this exchange, because we have to feed we have to feed the attention that we're worried about others regarding us with. I'm going to pull from the bottom here. Ace of Swords. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. It's like we have to feed that energy first. Like we have to feed what they think by placing them on a pedestal that gives them the license to dictate how we should be and what we should do in our lives. We have to give them that power first. So it's almost like claiming your power back. And then how the light gets in. Interestingly, the light gets in. This was on the bottom, so a bunch fell out. And this was on the very bottom. So it's like, this is how the light is getting in, right? It's through awareness. It's through speaking your truth. What do you really want, Sagittarius? What do you want? Don't worry about why. What do you want? Right? What feels good? Like, what feels good? Sensual awakening. What feels right? And like, there's no right or wrong way per se. Let's like, you know, dislodge or deprioritize the binary thinking here. What feels the best to you, regardless of what other people say or think, it just, what is your compass, right? What do you think about, and what do you dream of? What's your deep desires? I think this Four of Wands energy here is a little bit of like embracing stability, because like when you feed your own dreams, when you feed these wishes with your thoughts about them, and stop prioritizing other people's as like the be all and end all, 12 on the time, as the be all end all of them. This is like, it is a true stability. It's not just a true stability in manifesting, but it's also a true stability of like, in a way, you kind of, it's not becoming untouchable, because that's not the point. The point here is that you become so much more aware. Not just of why you want something, but how deeply you want it. There's something about that here, like this deep desire for something, and not like a yearning and like staying in this desire loop with no manifestation. But I almost feel like you're surrendering to just wanting, like that's the block, or there was something that is like releasing about like, it's safe for you to just want something. The Star is clarified by the Four of Swords, 10 of Swords, the Moon, the Queen of Pentacles, and the High Priestess on the bottom. Yeah. A lot of healing energy here, right? Like, and it's like the stuff that you wish for. You know, we think about the Nine of Swords in terms of like, you know, keeping you up at night. But what about the things that you want keeping you up at night? Right? What about the things that you really want keeping you up at night, because you're excited to think about them, to be in that manifesting place, to dream of them coming to fruition, right? And then I think that these Four of Swords and the 10 of Swords is healing our relationship to what it is that we want but can't see yet. Healing our relationship, releasing blockages and patterns that get in the way of things arriving or coming to us that we just can't see yet. Yeah, we just can't see them yet. And I think that this is like a very grounded, this is like taking intuitive knowledge and grounding it in something very real for you. This is grounding it in something very real for you. It's like, this is kind of like your magic right now, Sag, is where you're taking things that you can't see and you're turning it into this like really big like dream or wish for yourself. Like this is huge. It's huge. Spirit, what messages do you have for Sagittarius? King of Swords on the Four of Wands. Embracing. I think the stability is clarifying things. Like there's a clarity that you're gaining. This is more, strikes me more as like internal facing clarity. Like you're realizing what's most important to you. Like a sense of stability, a clarity as well. The King of Swords is very clear on what to do, what they want. There's a deep knowing here, and it's beautifully informed by your intuition, Sag. Not just intuition broadly speaking either, but there's like something that's expansive. I'm feeling like there's something expansive about what it is that you have been wanting, but you haven't been like surrendering to it. And I think part of the resplendent surrender for you is just letting yourself love stuff. Letting yourself love stuff. On the one hand, I think. But then I think as well, it's like allowing yourself to recognize it. Allowing yourself to recognize it. Allowing yourself the full recognition of it too, I think. Knight of Swords, Four of Wands again, the Empress, Five of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. Oh, the Hermit. Okay, gotcha. So this is like the wisdom from loss at the end. Like there's something about this. There's wisdom from losses that you've experienced, but it's like it's like a feather in your cap. Like it's like you're choosing to see things differently, and that's part of your surrender. Is because if you let yourself love stuff, there's a chance that you could get hurt. Yes, that's part of vulnerability and opening up. But I feel like this sense of clarity, it's like you know what you want and you're going for it. Like you're very clear on these things, and it's like you're ready to go. You're like ready to roll on it. You're on it. And it's like this is what you're headed towards, because it's like this is the energy that started it, and you're getting clear on what's important to you about this Four of Wands and why. This stability, this long-term contracts. This can be work. This can be this could be a particular job that you want or a career that you would like, and you're like leaning into it, and you're headed in that direction in a really powerful way. Like you're not letting things stop you. And that's where it's like you're heading towards this beautiful Four of Wands energy, because now you recognize that it's important. And that's, I feel like this is like that. It's almost like a coming to fruition energy. The Empress knows their power. There's tremendous power in this card. The tremendous power to make things happen. And I feel like this is like a sense of stability. Like you're showing up as the Empress here, Sag. So it's like you want this stability with good reason, because you're showing up as the Empress. Not like you get the stability because you're there, but it's like this is something that you've been wanting as part of your journey in this energy. But I think the only thing that you've really had to work through and work on is this Five of Cups and Five of Pentacles as being wisdom that you've needed to work through, and sort of sifting through things and being like, okay, why might I feel hesitant to let myself sink deeply into this, to let myself sink deeply into this desire or wish or dream that I have, right? And to just let myself love it, to let myself love every inch of it. Why am I hesitating on this? Why is this a hesitation of mine? Yeah. And I think that's like, I'm hearing like the harmony of different instruments in a symphony. And it's like, sometimes we have to let past, disappointments and past experiences be like that. Sometimes we have to let them be separate instruments, because they can't do all of the They can't do all of the heavy lifting of being the whole song unto themselves. There's so much more to it than that. Six of Wands, Six of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Hierophant, Page of Cups. Thinking too small. Like there's something about like your desire here is showing up as the Star, which is like big energy, but it's like you're dreaming too small. And I think that's something that you have to release, like letting yourself, like surrendering to, again, this is, I think it was Leo that had something similar to this, but like surrendering to how good it can get. But I feel like you first have to let this in, like you have to just let yourself sit in the energy of it. But you also have to surrender what people might think. And that's part of this. Like we hesitate to dream big or to think big because if we're worried about what people might think, we won't step into that because we're so focused on and occupied with what's going on around us, because we're taking that in as information. And in this instance, I do see this Hierophant energy as like tradition and, you know, like decorum and all of that stuff. Like, yeah, decorum. Oh my gosh. But I feel like it's that sense of tradition where it's like it's kind of keeping you smaller. Keeping you smaller a little bit, I think. And I think so releasing what other people think allows you to have a more even exchange and not feel like you have to, like you're I don't know, it's almost like you see that there could be a more even exchange. This is you looking at that type of energy of reciprocity. And you're looking at it like, are you kidding me? Like I'm living in this Five of Swords competitive way. Like what? But it's almost like once you give up what other people think, it just stops mattering. Like it just stops mattering. The things have a way of working themselves out when you're outside of that energy for yourself, when you're in a different energy. And they do. It takes time. It absolutely takes time. And that's not to say that we have to do nothing. Like our job is not to sit back and do nothing. But I think it's also about understanding what's possible, right? Like this is almost like a view of what's possible, a view of what could be. And that's a big deal. I think that's a big deal. And that's where you stop playing small. Like it's almost like you pick up second fiddle. I've literally never fiddled in my life, but like you pick up second fiddle as your default. Like there's very small offering when you can dream so much bigger because the Star is here. The Ace of Swords is here. Your truths are here and your truths are kind of coming home to roost a little bit. Ace of Swords, Eight of Wands. Spirit, what message do you have for Leo? And by Leo, I mean Sagittarius. I just said Leo. I'm talking about their reading, but for Sagittarius, for this Sag full moon reading about surrender and their truth. Judgment. Four of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, Strength. Okay. Oh, sorry. I don't know if that bothers anyone's ears. Some people don't like knuckle cracking. Ace of Swords. So this is like where the light gets in is your truth and speaking your truth and understanding it first, like understanding what is important to you and why, and then being unafraid of speaking that out loud. And this Eight of Wands, Judgment, and Four of Pentacles is like the release, like you're letting go of things. This is fast moving energy too. So it's like, this is downloads coming to you from Spirit. This is Spirit speaking to you through synchronicities. And it's like, you're like, you're going to have to pry this out of my hands. And I think that it happens. It happens because you realize that you're kind of taking from yourself. Like this is draining your energy. This is taking from you. It's taking away from the possibility of what you can bring to this world for yourself and what you can create. And then this is like where it's like, you're like, oh, and you get into this like right relationship with yourself. You're in the right, you're approaching your relationship to yourself in a really positive and powerful way, in an appropriate way that's really empowering to you and that's helpful, right? That's helpful because it's like you're helping yourself. And that's what I get here is like where you felt like these things may have taken from you, you're helping yourself. Like this is almost like you're looking back and you're like, wait, there's a different way that I can do this. Like I do not need to act like I deserve breadcrumbs. I do not need to act like I deserve scraps. Like I deserve no, you deserve the sun, like this sun warmth energy, the Leo energy. You deserve fire. You deserve passion. You deserve strength, confidence, strength of will, and knowing that you have the ability to put anything into action and into play that will allow you to succeed. You are not limited. There are certain ways that you have limitations to what you can do. But when I've often said to people before that you can do and have and be, you can be anything, but do you want to be? Like, what do you want to be for you? So it's about looking at those things and stepping into that energy and where that's coming from for you. I think there's a big release, though, of what other people think, and also your relationship to the ways that other people have expected things of you and from you. I'm getting that big time too, Sag. But I feel like there's an expansion here, right? This spiral outward. There's an expansion of your energy. You're being watched by loving eyes. That's some definite divine protection there. I think your angels, I mean, this tells me a lot about angels, right? Like, I feel like you have angels, guides, guardians around you right now. So and you might feel like you might be worried about making mistakes. You might be worried about that kind of energy, but I feel like there's not much that you can't do right now, Sag. And it's not about, you can do, again, it's not like you can do everything, because that's not healthy either. I can do anything, but I don't want to do everything. So what is the specific thing that I really want to do? Like, really, really want to do, right? The star. And standing in that energy and in your power in that way. Spirit, what messages do you have for Sagittarius for this Sag full moon reading? Well, if it's not as if you need anyone. Yeah. I'll read the back to you, because it can sound kind of funny, but I'll read the back to you. For as long as you wish to keep them in your life, whoever they may be, understanding them as opposed to changing them will wildly improve the chances that they'll wish to keep you in their life. So it's almost like this sense of like, maybe there's a bit of fear of releasing what people think and feeling like it's going to be, like releasing what people think, and you fear that like that is going to be the thing that you're just going to be left alone. But like, I can assure you, having come out twice to my family, my very Catholic family, like the people love you more than you understand. They really do. They really love you more than you understand. I remember I came out to I talked about transitioning and, talking about like becoming Charlie externally, because internally I knew this truth about myself for my whole life. And when I finally started talking about it, one of my cousins messaged me and she said, I remember when you came out, you changed the whole family for the better. And it's just like, it's that knowing that what you fear other people's reactions being for living your truth and stepping into this place of hope, this star energy, right? It only helps other people shine, and it only makes things better for others. It makes everyone better when you're in your truth, when you're in your Ace of Swords, when you're in that authentic place, because Sag, the world does need your light. You have so much that you bring here. And I don't need to know you personally to know that, because we do this every day in so many different ways. Everyone that I interact with brings something, even strangers, right? I ended up getting this from a stranger at work a couple weeks ago, probably about a month or two ago now, right? And on the back it says, keep shining. And it was just the sweetest thing. But it's like, even strangers, and it's not about engaging in things with people because of what you can get from them, but like seeing them shine, like just being in absolute awe of how incredible the entire universe of someone is around you. I feel like, does it occur to you, Sag, that people do that to, like, thinking about you in that way? So just, if you needed to hear it, I wanted to say it, because I feel like it was kind of coming across with this like nervousness about what people will say or think, and like I had to get over that with this channel, because it was like, does it make sense for me to do some of these things? Not necessarily in the context of like all of the lives that I've had within this lifetime, not really, but it's okay, because it means something to me and it's important to me, and I love giving guidance like this, and it's something I've wanted to do for a very long time. So that's something to think about, Sag. it's part of the releasing what other people think. And I think that that's what this reading is really about, is like releasing what other people think so that you can access a greater part of your own energy, so that you can access a greater part of yourself as part of this whole process of manifesting and surrender. When I've overshared, I simply say, wait, why am I talking? Now, this to me is energy as well, not just oversharing, right? Not just oversharing, but I think that this is an energy of like the overs, like overgiving, oversharing, overwriting, I just heard. But it's like sharing so much of yourself without considering how it impacts you. And especially because we're talking about this Six of Wands here, it's like this giving so much of yourself energetically to what other people think, right? It's like it's an energy exchange. Even if you may not think it is, it definitely is. And it can drain you if you're not, because if it knocks you out of touch with your power, your truth, if it knocks you out of sync with what you really want, like what your heart desires, then it becomes a drain that, it facilitates you becoming less and less of who you are and what you're meant to do here. So just keep that in mind too, Sag. I don't need to find my purpose. My purpose will find me. And I think part of it is like staying in touch with what you want and why you want it. So that's your reading, Sag. This is really good. This is intense. Whoa, this is intense. Don't forget, stay connected to your truth. I feel like that's going to be really important through this full moon. Stay connected to your truth, because there's a hope you have in your heart here that's really beautiful. There's a hope you have here in your heart. Yeah. All right, Sag, that is what I have for you. If this resonated, please like and subscribe. I'd love to have you on this channel. Yeah, I'd love to have you here. And honestly, thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me, so thank you for that. I'm very grateful for you being here, so thank you. There are other ways you can connect with me on the channel, so check that out in terms of other videos and content. But Sag, if this is where we leave it, I hope that wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, it finds you very well, my darlings. Take care.